country, what we'll see out of this, plus more in First Alert Weather Extra.
And we bring you the Weather Extra on how you can protect yourself in the cold weather and the hypothermia signs you need to watch out for. Plus, we continue to talk about the preparations being made across the state and the nation as we get ready to see winter weather.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And right now on First Alert Weather Extra, Tania, we're getting ready for, it's going to be an interesting weekend, how all this unfolds. We're already starting to see some wintry weather starting to develop back across parts of Texas.
Oh yeah, Wes, there's so much to look out for this weekend. Not just the winter precipitation for our far northern counties, but we're also watching out for maybe even some storms far south Alabama.
Yeah, and listen, the icy threat is still very real for parts of our area. I mean, I want us to certainly make sure we are alert through tomorrow night. There's parts of East Alabama. It could be real tricky in there. Some of the mountains, some of the high terrains, there could be some icing that really starts to set up late tomorrow night. As far as the snow impacts across the country, just want to show you this map. You do not see this every day. What a significant winter storm. Now showing some significant snow amounts from Oklahoma City, back across places near Amarillo, Texas, all the way to Washington and New York. So this will have far-reaching impacts with respect to travel. Just keep that in mind anywhere north, west, or east. And look at Alabama. I mean, we are right here wedged in the middle of this thing, and you can see just how close we are. I mean, it is all around us here as far as those significant impacts, and this is the ice threat. There's ice storm warnings to the west, and now Atlanta has been included in an ice storm warning that will go through. That is for the possibility of ice accumulations up to 1 inch. There will be likely some tree damage and power outages with that weight of ice, and that is so close to us, and that's why we are watching closely along with our friends at the National Weather Service here across far east Alabama. There's still some winter storm watches in areas to the south. Now, just because winter weather advisories have been issued, these could still change. These could be upgraded. More could be added. So there's a lot. We got to watch how this evolves over the next couple of days. So stay tuned on that. So let's get over. We go from the weather alerts to a look at where the greatest freezing rain risk could set up. And I just want to show there is a trend in some of the high resolution data over the past 4 or 5 runs of our Barron model that I have seen, where we are seeing more freezing rain possibilities across East Alabama. So Gadsden, Anniston, Ashland, I just want to stay in weather alert here through tomorrow and into the evening as we watch those temperatures, because we might end up in here with some icy patches and trouble spots. We've got to watch late tomorrow night and into Sunday morning, and we're going to be watching it closely. This even shows maybe over towards Pell City, maybe parts of St. Clair County. So we will need to watch those areas closely based on some of that new data coming in. But as we look at the possibility of ice, it's typically those elevated surfaces, bridges, overpasses. First off, if you notice the temperature where you live drops to 32 degrees, watch those areas first there during the overnight. For the rest of us, it's a lot of rain. And let's walk you through the weekend, and will we see any storms on top of it? I mean, that was something that was added to the mix today. I mean, we had the full plate as far as the system goes. There's 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and far north we're at freezing. So anything, even Tuscaloosa, Birmingham showing 32 degrees. Any precipitation we have tomorrow morning, that could cause some issues. So we got to watch that radar closely early in the day. But here comes the rain into Saturday night. And one trend today is we have seen most of this trend a little bit later, with the heaviest precipitation moving in tomorrow night and into Sunday morning. And again, we'll need to watch East Alabama, areas to the south where we might see some storms start to roll in and impact parts of the area on Sunday. So a lot that we're going to be tracking, and again, we'll walk you through this again step by step with the timing and talk about that cold weather coming up for next week. But the Alabama Department of Public Health is warning you to watch for those signs of hypothermia during the dangerously cold temperatures. Hypothermia occurs when a body temperature drops below 95 degrees. It can happen in minutes if you're in a very cold environment, of course, and for adults, watch for shivering, extreme tiredness, slurred speech, memory loss, and babies look for bright red skin that's cold to the touch, and signs of low energy. Those wind chills in the single digits, Tania, coming up early on Monday morning. Folks wonder why we show wind chills, and that is why, because it increases that risk for hypothermia.
Oh yeah, 100%. Nothing to play around with. An update tonight on First Weather Extra. There are several local colleges and universities are rescheduling sporting events due to this weekend weekend's winter threat. Sanford's men's basketball game against Chattanooga was originally scheduled to start at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Well, it will now tip off at 1 o'clock. Jacksonville State had a basketball doubleheader planned for tomorrow. The men's team game happening now against Middle Tennessee State, and the women's team playing UTEP tomorrow at noon. And Montevallo was scheduled to have a doubleheader against Lee University tomorrow, but the women's game will now happen at noon and the men's game will start at 2 p.m. or 25 minutes after the women's game is over. And across the state, most of northern Alabama is under a winter weather advisory, with parts of northwest Alabama under an ice storm warning. Many of them preparing for the weather by stocking up on propane tanks, food, and generators. Check out the milk aisle at a local Walmart in the Huntsville area. Absolutely nothing. The shelves are bare. Our sister station WAFF caught up with someone shopping, and she says she's keeping it simple when it comes to preparing for this weekend's weather.
Groceries are expensive, so I'm not going to go above and beyond, but we want to have the staples just in case, I don't think it's going to get bad, but just when it doesn't, then it will, when we don't expect it to. Worst case scenario, if you have to go sit in your car to charge your phone, then we should have gas so you can charge your phone up, yeah.
And I just thought that image of the bare shelves was so funny. It was like they literally took all the milk and the whipped cream and everything in that aisle. The winter weather advisory and ice storm warning, there was nothing to play around with. It is expected to last until 6 p.m. this upcoming Sunday. And covering East Alabama, your reporter Reggie Kyle spoke with emergency management officials in Calhoun and Etowah counties as they tell you the best way to prepare for incoming winter weather and dangerously cold temperatures.
Etowah County EMA Director Jim Slick says the upcoming winter weather weekend is a big test for his newly formed agency. With a winter storm advisory in effect for Etowah County, he says everyone should use caution.
We may have a potential Sunday night leading into Monday morning to have some freezing rain and some sleet and snow type accumulations, but it'll be very minimal from the latest update that we got.
Fully staffed with veteran EMA personnel, Director Slick says he's depending on other agencies to be his eyes and ears around the county.
We've also reached out to the local police departments and sheriff's department and asked them for communications to make sure that they're communicating with us while they are patrolling the roads to give us updates as they see them.
With the potential for a wintry mix and icy roads, Calhoun County EMA Officer Bailey Pope says people should utilize the 4 P's of safety that starts with people and pets.
We also want people to check on their neighbors. Think about the people that live around you that are elderly, that may have issues keeping their home warm. We don't want to forget about animals. So if you have outdoor pets, think about once temperatures start dropping to bring them inside.
For pipes, Bailey says let your water drip and try directing heat towards your pipes so they won't freeze.
If you have outdoor plants, go ahead and bring those inside. You might want to get those covered up just so that that freeze doesn't kill them.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we talk more about how much rain we're expecting to see over the weekend, as well as any winter type of weather, and how it's impacting travel across the nation. We'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra.
All right, a live look from Tuscaloosa where it is 47 degrees. We are above freezing right now, and some breaks in the clouds out there at the moment. The wind out of the north. Birmingham still in good shape. Just bundle up weather where winds north at 43 degrees. We head over to East Alabama, Anniston, and up towards Gadsden. This is actually one of the camera views at Glencoe right now, and a rather a light breeze showing up north at Gadsden at 8, but 43 degrees the temperature. And these temperatures tomorrow night could drop close to freezing. Places like Cedar Bluff, Hoax Bluff. We got to watch all those locations up towards Center and Galesville. Possibility that we might start to see some freezing rain tomorrow night in those areas, so we will need to stay weather alert. Right now, AccuTrack shows 37 at Coleman and Haleyville, so there are some freezing conditions there to the north, or close to freezing conditions there to the north, and we will drop into the low 30s, upper 20s tomorrow morning. But the thing is, early in the day, the models have backed off on the amount of precipitation tomorrow morning. Maybe to the far north, we could start to see a little bit of that freezing drizzle or sleet trying to develop by 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So things have kind of shifted just a bit timing-wise more into the day, but tomorrow night's when we're really going to see those heaviest impacts. And right now, Tania, looks like dry weather expected for this evening.
Oh yeah, Wes, I've been stressing everyone to keep their Friday plans because, I mean, hey, we're quiet tonight. You don't have anything to worry about for the next several hours. The Red Cross says the U.S. is facing a severe blood shortage, though, and the incoming winter weather is making it even worse. Your reporter, Abby Heyman, spoke with the Red Cross on why they need donations more than ever right now.
I know that blood donation is the last thing on people's minds right now, and we understand that.
An increase in hospital demand combined with the threat of winter weather is creating a severe blood shortage.
A lot of times during these winter events, you start to see the increased hospital need for blood, and a lot of that is unfortunately because of traffic accidents.
Adding to the problem, record high flu rates have flooded hospitals and sidelined donors. The shortage is especially critical for type O blood.
We need O blood types because that is the blood that hospitals, that doctors grab when there's no time to test what a patient's blood type is.
And this is not a short-term issue.
Even the weeks to come after the storm, to make sure that blood supply stays steady, because there are drives that are being canceled across the nation due to this large looming winter weather storm.
Annette Rowland says here in Alabama, the Red Cross is already preparing for areas expected to be hit the hardest.
We're also making sure that we have reserves in areas where if transportation was cut off, we can still get that blood quickly to the facility that needs it.
You can find donation locations at redcrossblood.org.
Well, one of the things we want to stress is just how impactful this winter storm is, because this system is not just impacting our state. I mean, when we zoom out here, you'll see that many parts of the country are under some type of warning, watch, advisory. There are alerts all over the United States. So this is a really big system, and it's not just impacting us here at home. Now, as far as ice impacts, that's what's really going to be impacting parts of the south and east. We just happen to be in that warm sector here across central Alabama. But when you look over to parts of Texas, into Mississippi, and the southern portions of Tennessee, and even along the East Coast, still seeing minor and even moderate, with some areas major and even extreme ice impacts tomorrow. So, hey, we've got a lot to track here over the weekend, and we will certainly keep you well informed and up to date. But still ahead on First Weather Extra, we're talking about the dangerous cold expected through early next week. And we head to our friends in the Peach State as they give back to those in need before being impacted by this winter weather.
All right, welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt, and one of my key messages tonight is that areas to the east and northwest, we still need to be taking this serious, this possibility of some freezing rain. We could see that tomorrow night and early Sunday morning. Not that it could, be a major ice storm for all these areas, but we just need to be watching for the possibility of that ice setting up. It's close. There's ice storm warnings over in the parts of Georgia, so that line and where this goes from just a cold rain to considerable icing happening in some of those locations that could set up there late tomorrow night, so we do need to watch it. Now, rest of us, it's really cold rain. Now, tomorrow we do start off around freezing, but those temperatures will go up. But you can see the Weather Service has the winter weather advisories to the north, and this basically means that, be advised, there could be some icy travel conditions possible there tomorrow, especially early. If we get, it wouldn't surprise me in the morning you wake up here around Hamilton, parts of Winston County. We had some sleet trying to fall and maybe even some sprinkles, but eventually what will happen is we'll start to see more rain building in, and then a very fine line to the northwest around places like Guin, Winfield, Hamilton, where it's a changeover. There might be a little bit of freezing rain. So tonight, no problems. If you're about to head out the door, there's 11 o'clock temperatures to the north. You can see by early tomorrow morning, I mean, we've got freezing temperatures in a lot of places, even all the way down to Ashland, Tuscaloosa, Hoover. You can see just how close this is, and that's the time when the moisture starts to overrun the state. So you start to get, especially the Tennessee Valley, far north Alabama, we'll start to see some of those returns, but it really cranks up around 3 or 4 o'clock, and a lot of what you see is rain. And then to the north, a really cold rain north around Hamilton. We've got the possibility there of some freezing rain and a wintry mix even in the parts of Lamar, northern Fayette, and Winston counties. And then tomorrow night into Sunday morning, still watching far north, but watch East Alabama. You can see there's some of that area of wintry mix that could show up. I think that window for early Sunday, I think it's mostly east Alabama, and then what could happen by the afternoon before all this comes to an end, we might start to see a changeover again far northwest. So again, it's the outer counties that we really need to pay close attention to, but a lot of rain. And notice this band right here, there's a line that forms. Might get some loud rumbles of thunder and some gusty winds with this as it moves on through, even a severe risk down into South Alabama. So there could be some gusty winds, which we don't want very windy conditions. There's always a possibility in those situations of some random power outages, because we are talking about some really cold weather coming in. Big concern, I know, about the possibility of a flash freeze behind this, or seeing the chance that we could have some black ice developing early on Monday morning, lows down into the teens. That is a possibility, but we are going to have a nice window, the way I see it today, for a lot of this moisture after the rain to start evaporating. Typically for something like that, we need to watch areas of runoff, and if we do indeed have some ice development early Sunday morning, you get melting and then refreezing. That is an issue you got to watch out for. So that's all the things we'll watch for early Monday. But the big story will be the cold. Monday, Tuesday, we're headed for the deep freeze to kick off next week. And then Wednesday and beyond, as we go to Tania, we're watching the second half of next week. And I know there's a lot of talk about a week from Saturday, another system that's been showing up in the models. But you know what? One model came out today, it was completely gone. And if this week's showing us one thing, it's we need to wait and we need to watch the data. But if something does pop up, one thing, Tania, we'll be ready, right? Because we've prepared this week.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to be ready, and we're always going to give you that first alert. So let's take you beyond that 10-day forecast. I can assure you one thing, though. No matter what models are saying about another chance for some winter precipitation late next week, I definitely think we're in for several days of really cold conditions. We're tracking below average temperatures across the entire southeast between the end of this month and the first few days of February. So get ready, because the cold is not going anywhere anytime soon. And I can show you some of these temperatures. This is just one model run, and it definitely shows temperatures a lot of the times below freezing. This is a look at Friday, 3 p.m. next Friday, not today. Next Friday, temperatures around 36 degrees, still really cold. Seeing some 20s for the early mornings, right around 33 there. That's 7 p.m. next Saturday, January the 31st, ending out the month pretty cold. And here's a look at Sunday. Sunday afternoon, I see some 40s finally, but I mean, that's still really chilly, and I'm not seeing anything really above 45 degrees into late next week. So that's just one thing to keep on the forefront of your mind. You want to bring out all the winter gear because we have certainly some cold days ahead. But looking beyond that 10-day forecast, this is what Wes was talking about a little bit earlier. Some models trying to pick up another winter type system into next weekend. I'm not sold on it just yet, but we'll certainly keep our eyes on it very closely. As far as precipitation goes, we're looking at below average rainfall for the first few days of February. We'll keep you well informed always as we take you beyond that 10-day, but stay with us. We'll have more First Alert Weather Extra. Actually, matter of fact, let's talk about this. Parts of the southeast prepare to see winter weather in bitterly cold conditions. Meals on Wheels Atlanta is activating their emergency protocols. Brian Unger has the latest on the organization, and their band of volunteers is getting out ahead of the storm to deliver meals to those who may need them.
Meals on Wheels Atlanta volunteer Heidi Wheatley isn't working her normal schedule.
I look forward to seeing you. I'm on my way.
With a wintry mix expected this weekend, her usual Saturday deliveries are going out midweek so clients can eat safely at home no matter what happens outside. Charlene Caruso Ingram is CEO of Meals on Wheels Atlanta.
We're here to feed these seniors, and for inclement weather, we have to have a plan. And we do.
Back at the kitchen, work begins before dawn. Volunteers in the kitchen start their day at 4 a.m., packing extra meals for a big push to get food into homes before roads turn dangerous.
We rolled out our usual plan, and that is for us to deliver all of the meals that the senior needs over the period that forecast said snow or ice.
Okay, you got that?
How does this make you feel knowing that you've got this food up front ahead of this storm?
It makes me feel really loved and cared for. I've never received this kind of love before in my life.
And this year, a critical upgrade is making that turnaround possible. Thanks to recent fundraising, this nonprofit added new freezers so they can store surplus meals and move fast when the forecast turns threatening.
That's why it's important to have a backlog of meals in our freezers. And then by noon tomorrow, the seniors will have 14 meals plus a breakfast box, which will get them through to Monday.
Even if the weather stops everything else, these wheels keep turning.
Well, a lot to watch over the next few days, but how about some lovely photos? Alabama never disappoints,
That's so true. Take our mind off of the weekend storm for just a second. A beautiful sunset submitted by Wesley Faulkner from Coosa River. Or that was a picture of the Coosa River. Thanks for sending that photo in.
Yeah, thanks, Wesley. And another gorgeous sunset this time from Clanton, sent in from Carolyn Good. And want to thank Carolyn for this lovely sunset. It sure looks stunning. How about this view?
Oh, gorgeous, from Miramar Beach?
Yeah, Miramar Beach. Yeah.
Miramar Beach. Beautiful. Haven't been to that beach yet. That's why I didn't know how to say it.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And last but certainly not least, this great sunset view submitted by Darlene Murray from Logan Martin Lake. We certainly appreciate all of you, our excellent weather watchers, and we'll be seeing you back here tonight. A lot to get into for the weekend forecast and new data first at 9.